Hello and welcome to Never Heard It, the show where I review classic albums that I never got around to listening to. But this week I brought along a guest. He is the co-founder of True Digital Media Marketing and the host of the International Ream Supreme Show. Ladies and gentlemen, representing Houston, Texas, please welcome Kareem Shon. What's up?
What's up, man? Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity, and I really excited about doing the interview. This is really where I shine right here.
So the album that we're talking about is Third Base's debut album, the Cactus Album. First question I have to ask is, why is it that you haven't heard this album?
If it wasn't on 98.7 Kiss with DJ Red Alert or Chuck Chill Out or 107.5 WBLS with Marley was over there one time. We had Future Flavors with Marley Pete Rock. And I think that was on 98.7 Kiss. So if it wasn't late night radio with the DJs I was rocking, and if it wasn't on Video Music Box, then you were gonna fall out of the circle. Now, did I have a couple of cousins that passed me a tape here and there? Yeah, absolutely. My uncle would pass me tapes here and there, but no one gave me the Third Base tape.
All right, so let's just jump into the album then. Was there anything that you heard that kind of stuck out to you?
Step Into the AM, I believe, is the first video that I saw.
Yeah.
You see this guy, he got the Jew fade, got the Jew high top, because it's not a fro, so it's a high top. And he got the big third, the big three with the RD in the back. And it was like, all right, cool, you got my attention. And he starts, kicking his lyrics and everything. And it was like, okay, dude is kind of dope. Now, mind you, this is at the same time we got Vanilla Ice. So we're like Vanilla Ice, MC Hammer, Third Base. I'm gonna rock with Third Base, right? And they weren't, Search would dance, but it wasn't as flunky as what Vanilla Ice was doing it. You know what I'm saying? Search would rhyme, but it wasn't rinky dinky like a Vanilla Ice was. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you a question. I want you to be 100% honest with me. Did you mess with Vanilla Ice? Did you mess with Vanilla Ice back in? No, not at all.
It's not that I messed with him. At this moment, it was like, what's this? You know what I mean? Because again, I'm a little kid, right? And it's still a time in this culture where you could throw some bait out there and catch a fan. So seeing Vanilla Ice was just like, what's this? And why is he copying off of MC Hammer? Because Hammer was already out.
Yeah.
Right? This is still in a time era of hip hop where no biting is allowed. So we're looking at Vanilla Ice like, I don't know. You know what I mean? What's this? And then the whole word to you, like it was just, it was flunky. Like, let's, getting into the album. Now that I have the knowledge of stuff that I have, the levels of knowledge of stuff that I have, I can now hear the crowd that MC Search ran with. MC Search refers to his girl as his wisdom.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's a God body term. You know what I'm saying? That's a God body term. Wisdom, the black woman is symbolic to wisdom. You see what I'm saying? So at that time, I didn't know what he meant. It sounded good. Okay, cool. I'm with you. But now I'm like, yo, so Search was influenced by the gods in them back in the days.
Yeah,
okay,
KMD was heavy into that. Yeah, KMD was heavy into all of that. Yeah.
Absolutely. So it goes to show that he had the street cred. If anything, I think that's what I'm trying to explain. Where Serge and Pete Nice had the street cred. They from Far Rockaway, Queens. Far Rockaway, Queens is a hard area of Queens. And they had the stamp. So they're from Queens. They're from a rough neighborhood. They're on a hip hop label. You can't get more official than that during that time. So nah, man. Vanilla Ice is like, what do we do with this guy? But getting back into the album though, it you know, again, it came out in a time where hip hop was very pure. It wasn't about, you know, yeah, you had the chains, you had the cars, but it was more about your boss at that time. So I can appreciate some of the influences that I could hear from Search today. Look, you know, listening back, and Pete Nice just wasn't that nice. Like, you know, eh.
Yeah,
somehow his voice kind of complements Search in a way. Moving on through the album, though, I gotta admit, their single, it was a single at the time, the Gasface. Yo, it really messed my head up. It really did. Hearing him shout, you know, hearing MC Search shout out De La, uh, Leo Cohen, um, a couple of other shout outs that he mentioned, and I was like, wow, you know, I know who that person is too. I went back after hearing it on the album, I went back and watched the video. You know, again, seeing MF Doom as Zev Love X was so mind-blowing to me because I'm a huge fan of Zev Love X. Well, I like Zev Love X. Huge Doom fan. From the instrumentals to the albums to the merch. I mean, yo, he even had a Clark Wallaby, bro. Like, that's my guy. I'm working on a tattoo now that has Doom on it. I'll show it when it's ready. But that's part of the piece I'm working on. So I'm a huge Doom fan. And to be able to be like, wow, look how much he grew from there and the troubles that he went through.
They went to Prince Paul because they wanted a version of Buddy.
They got real close to it.
Do you know the history of the term Gasface?
I heard him say it once, but I forget off the top of my head. It has something to do with one of their friends.
Third Base and KMD were hanging out, and their friend was the only one with a car. So they went to, all pitched in to pay for gas because they wanted to go to the mall and hit on girls. They paid all this gas money, went to the mall, hit on the girls, and they dissed them. So they paid all this money on gas, and they gave them the diss face. So from that time on, they got this gas face. They just put it together. Zev Love X's verse is literally about, like, if you like really break down his lyrics, that's what he's talking about. He's talking about going to the mall, hitting on girls, and they dissed him. That's what his verse is.
Yo, you know what? He did say that. Don't tempt me, yo. She's empty, so fill her up.
Yep. So what other songs were you feeling on it?
I was going to skip to Product of the Environment. And the funny thing about that was I hated the album version. The remix video version by far way better. Would love to give the artist who the production team or the producer who remixed it, because he literally saved that song. I wish the remix was on the album, because then it just would have made the album a lot better.
Yeah, I don't know who did the remix. Like, Sam Severs did the original. Sam Severs produced like 80% of this album. He did almost everything. Like, Bomb Squad only produced 2 songs. They produced "Step Into the AM" and "Oval Office," and then Prince Paul did the Gasface and "Brooklyn Queens." But everything else is Sam Severs. And Sam Severs he's a weird character because, like, he started out working with Run DMC. He worked with the Beastie Boys. Then when the Beastie Boys left Def Jam, he did the Third Base album. He did Pete Nice's solo album. And then he had his own group called Downtown Science back in like 91. And then he just disappeared. Like, I can't even find, as far as I know, he's still alive, but I can't find any information. I have no idea whatever happened to him. But like, I like his production on this. I think it's really good, but he's just one of those characters that just popped up and left.
So in this time in the culture of hip hop, you know, and I think I might have mentioned this already, but you know, we have all these real heavyweights, and for Third Base to be able to mix in and get in, their sound had to be in that lane as well, right? So I was still into the more rugged sounds at that time. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I didn't get to this. I'm still not impressed with the sound overall. But getting
Okay.
back to product of the environment though,
Mhm.
it did really well with DJs. I remember always hearing that song come on at night with a night DJ. I would definitely say that. Video was popping. I wish they would have had that one on the album.
Mhm.
Um, Flipping off the wall like Lucy Ball. That was another one that I kind of wish that wasn't on the album either. I appreciate Brooklyn Queens because, like you said, it was produced by Principal. And if anything, I think Brooklyn Queens has more of that buddy feel than Gasface
The gas
does.
station.
Uh, yeah, I think Brooklyn Queens really has that buddy feel because the buddy record, it felt a lot like De La Soul's Saturday. It was just
Mhm.
like roller skating music. It was real groovy. You just want to bop to it. But I was happy that Step Into the AM was towards the bottom because
Mhm.
um, what I have learned over the years in music, what means a lot to me, is arrangement. Song placements mean almost everything to me right now.
Mhm.
So for someone who was kind of like, this turned into a project. This turned in from being like something really exciting to do to being a project once I got into the album because I was like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, we gonna get through this. And I don't
Mhm.
just give it one listen. I
Mhm.
probably listened to this album since we started talking about doing this episode
Mhm.
7 times
Wow. I
because
don't
I
think
really
I've
want to
heard it
pick
seven
apart. Because
times.
I really want to pick apart anything
Uh-huh.
like you want to pick apart. Like
Yeah.
hold on, what was it? Monty Hall. That
Mhm.
song got on my damn nerves. I don't want to hear smooth and groove MC
Yeah.
Search. You know what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That was
But
a little weird. That was weird.
yeah, that was a little weird. And then Pete Nice is like, I'm like, stop it, man. Just
Mhm.
so it's a lot of look. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it's a lot of trash on the album. I hate
Mhm.
that anybody if this is your favorite, this is your gem. I apologize,
Mhm.
but there's definitely some songs we could have done
Mhm.
without. I think this album would have done better if it was about 10 songs deep and if they would have put the remix to
Mhm.
Product of My Environment. I think the album would have did better.
Do you see yourself going back to any of the songs on this album?
You know, I found that I would use a skit or two for my Instagram stories.
Like that's the only thing you would go back to? Like no songs? You only skit? There's
Oh,
no songs you would go
no,
back to?
no, 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 I'm good. I want to hear the gas face when I go see uh a show. I want to save it for that. Brooklyn Queens never really stuck to me. Some of the other songs on there, like it was cool to hear them. Like,
Mhm.
okay, yeah, that was good. But there was so many fillers to me between the skits and the songs that I just didn't like that I just wouldn't. And as far as Product of My Environment, that remix is always going to be the LP version
Mhm.
for me. So
Okay.
nah, I wouldn't. Some
Okay.
things are just left alone. But again, whatever I think about the Cactus album, it's like a pin drop in the turn of hip hop. I swear, y'all, because right after that, we would get Puff, right? And when
Mhm.
Puff came, when Andre Harrell let the locks off the boy, he started changing the game immediately with Mary J. Blige, with Jodeci, right? They were uptown artists. They weren't bad boy artists. I'm not even getting the bad boy yet.
Mhm.
But that's when that turn started coming because then like anything else, something hot happens that everybody starts biting their style,
Mhm.
right? So it's definitely an important part of culture. I'll say it that way, man.
Mhm.
Um, for the sounds of hip hop. If you want to know what hip hop sounded like before the Kanye West, before the Puffies, before the Death Row era, before Dr. Dre, then you want to listen to this album for sure.
Absolutely. All
So
right.
yeah.
So wrapping it up, is there anything that you want to plug? Anything that you're doing now? You want to talk to the people about?
Oh man, yeah, absolutely. Real excited to start what we calling the Goat Talk series, the greatest of all time series.
Mm.
And y'all can find that on all streaming platforms. The International Reign Supreme Show. Our website is www.reign Show, where you can listen to our podcast as well as watch the latest one that we have. And it's a great source for you to be able to follow us and all that other stuff. But with the Go Talk series, what we're doing is we are going to destroy your top five, hands down.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
Okay. Okay. All right.
The concept of this is we all want to talk about who's the greatest MC, right?
Mm.
And we typically try to pin it down to one person, like who is the god MC, who is the greatest MC. So what we decided to do was being fair to ourselves and to our minds, to our spirits, we can't nail it down to just one person. We just can't.
Mm.
So what we're going to do is start with the beginnings of hip hop. We're going to start from 1978 to 2018, I believe. And what we're going to do is break down this timeline of hip hop into 5 different sections that consist of 7 different MCs. So what we decided to do was start and put this in 5 different eras, from 76 to 86, from 87 to 94, from 95 to 2002, from 2003 to 2010, from 2011 to 2018.
Okay.
Based on lyrical content, cultural impact, and longevity. For the first round of this talk, we want to discuss who are the top 7 MCs in these different eras. We got some content for it already. We interviewed Tri-State, so shout out to him. Shout out to Star, and shout out to Vic Spencer. So I believe they are 15, 16, and 17 episodes in our YouTube channel, so y'all can check that out. And we took a different approach with them, using the same concept, but totally destroyed their top 5. So we do a Tales episode where we telling ourselves and fun and have fun with that. We do another episode where we call it the Pick 7, where we'll pick 7 episodes. 7 albums for people to check out. We do hip hop reviews as well.
Okay.
So, we just keeping it moving, man. And we want to continue to collaborate with other people such as yourself. So this way we can continue to grow and have you on our show. So this way, people learn about you, because I'm telling you, bro, I was so excited about doing this episode because the concept is so dope. And it makes you face yourself as a hip hop, head.
Exactly.
Like that list you have, I'm gonna need you to keep that on the low. Like that's between me and
Absolutely.
you, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't let
I got a lot of people's lists. I've done a lot of episodes, and I got a lot of people's lists. People don't send me one album; they send me like a list, and so I know everybody's secrets, but your secret is safe with me, bro. So to wrap up, to anybody out there, have you heard the Cactus album? Are you still bumping it to this day? I'm going to keep talking about albums until I run out. Until then, we are 2 guys on the internet that don't know everything. Peace.
Peace.